Hello, people of the internet. The name is Michael. Lovely to meet every single one of you. How's about we sit down and have a little chit-chat about an oh-so-wonderful game named Cuphead? I will stop doing that voice now. I'm such an idiot. Okay. Hey guys, it's Michael again. Let's have a chat about Cuphead.
What about Cuphead?
You might be asking. Well, I'll answer that question with another question. What's something that really stands out about Cuphead?
It's hard as balls!
Well, yeah, but what else stands out about it?
It looked like an old Mickey Mouse cartoon.
Yes, also true, but I was going to say it's music.
Honestly, I'm not really surprised that not a lot of people talk about this game's music. I mean, it's very much the last thing on your mind when playing a game like this. Your main focus is, without a doubt, trying to survive all the crap these levels throw at you. So it can be pretty easy to brush off the songs as just background noise if you're just an average player.
But if you are as much of a die-hard fan of Cuphead as I am, you are well acquainted with the brilliance that Christopher Madigan brings to this game.
I listen to the soundtrack for this game almost all the time. It's the closest I can get to listening to video game music without being judged by other people around me. And I hope that I can reach out to people who feel the same way that I do about these songs.
And the way I plan on doing that is by ranking every single song from the soundtrack, good and bad, here for you fans of Cuphead today. Try to keep in mind the songs are ranked in an order in which I enjoy them the least to the most. And also try to keep in mind that I'm no music critic, very, very far away from being one actually. I'm just some schmuck on YouTube sharing his opinion about video game music. And now with no further delay, let's strap up. This is gonna be a long one. Because we're ranking every single song from Cuphead.
Just a quick 11-second song that isn't even really a song and just never shows up in the game at all. From what I heard, this was apparently supposed to play in between the final boss's first and second phase.
But it doesn't, so moving on.
Literally the same as the last one. It's just 31 seconds longer and it actually does appear in the game. It's used for when you meet the devil again after getting all the soul contracts and you have to choose whether to give him the contracts and join him or don't and have one hell of a time. Or, fight him. Again, very short, barely a song, but it gets its job done. This one is a very spooky sounding track. This almost sounds like something you'd play during Halloween to set the mood, which is fitting because it's played in the levels where you parry a whole bunch of pink creepy ghosts. Song's alright, it's just not one of the ones I find myself listening to that often. What a very fitting title for this one. I mean, everything in this track is just filled with things that portray death, hence the name The End. I mean, there's some snare drum being played as if there's a death sentence in progress, the low-tone piano playing, the fact that this plays if you decide to join the devil in the end. Everything in this track is just oozing with grimness.
Tell me you don't picture this being the perfect music for someone being told, like, their pet just died. We have Odie here. Odie, here, over here. Oh, yeah, So, good news and bad news. Bad news, Odie's dead. Good news, that's the end of the sentence.
That being said, it's okay. Kinda short for a credit song, but it's okay. This is another one that actually got cut from the game entirely. From what I heard, this is supposed to play as some sort of warning to the player that their time was running out in a run and gun level. But I've also heard that there was a Space Invader-esque minigame that got cut and that it was planned to be in as well. I kinda like it, although the track does take its own advice and ends pretty quickly, although I'm sure it was meant to be played in a loop or something in the actual game. I have sort of a personal bias against the piano versions of songs in this game.
Less is not more, Ludwig. Less is not more.
I just feel like a bit is taken away from what made them good when it's just one single instrument being played. But like I said, it's just because of my personal preference that this one is rated this low in the list. And you can expect that to be the case for the other piano songs as well. But for what it's worth, actually kind of a nice track. Like I said, I'm a bigger fan of the original versions of these songs, but this one actually does a pretty good job of sounding pretty much the same as its initial style. Played with a lot less instruments, but at the same time still keeps its overall jazzy mood too. One of the tracks that sound the most like its time period. It kind of has this 1930 saloon kind of vibe, and it has this almost horse trotty like beat all throughout that makes it sound like a very western cowboyish type of thing. Not much to say on this one other than that. It's alright, I suppose. From what I can hear, there isn't a wide arrangement of instruments that this one uses. It's mostly just piano and drums the entire time with the occasional like cowbell or two, and yet it manages to make the most out of them. I like the almost soft and subtle percussion that it has, and the piano is played wonderfully. Another track that was cut from the game entirely. I heard this was supposed to be the theme for like an unused boss. I always found this one a bit overwhelming in the past.
But when I had to sit myself down and force myself to listen to it, I found that not only is it overwhelming, it's actually quite enjoyable.
This one's the same as Rugged Ridge in that it sounds like there aren't that many instruments involved, and yet it utilizes these instruments even better here. And it captures a very fun house vibe very well. Shares the same horse trotty like beat as Forest Follies, but it has a lot more unique sounding segments that makes it worth listening to every now and then. One of the better piano-centered tracks. It has a very simple yet catchy melody. There isn't really much else I can say about it other than that though. I don't remember ever hearing this in the game, so I assume it was also cut. It has the same catchy melody that Victory Tune does, and I'm sure it was supposed to play if you scored better than the last time you played a level. It's got kind of a circus/amusement park feel, which is nice and all, but I prefer to listen to the regular Victory Tune over this. God, I love the way they play the xylophone in this track. You can hear a little bit of tuba and hi-hat in there, but I feel like they purposefully kind of toned them down because they know who the real star of this group of instruments is. And it's that damn xylophone. Miss Chalice, your song is indeed filled with malice.
Define malice.
Malice means the intention or desire to do evil, ill will.
God damn it.
Ah yes, the famous airship level that was removed from the final cut. It's a shame too, because in all honesty, this is a nice song that would have occupied an interesting looking boss. Then why did you rank it at 41, I hear you asking? Well, to be honest, it does sound nice, yes, but it honestly kind of lacks a consistent melody to make it stand out from most of the other songs. But it is one of the few songs that I've heard go so quiet near the middle. It's a cool track, but not one of my favorites. I was originally going to put this one a bit further down on the list, but I heard that verse that occurs midway, and it honestly deserves to be knocked up a few points for it. It's actually pretty good. I'd say this is one of the tracks that match up almost perfectly with where it's placed in the game. This is exactly the type of music I would picture being played in a bar in the 30s. This one lasts for 5.5 minutes, and I can really only get into like the intro portion of those 5.5 minutes. The rest of it's okay, nothing that makes me want to stick around though, to be honest. Its piano version was ranked really low, and now its regular version does the same. Really, this isn't a bad world theme, it's just the other world themes are so much better than it. But it does have a very sinister vibe to it. I give it points for setting up the final area's tone very effectively. I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but Inkwell Isle 3 has a very similar sounding melody to Inkwell Hell. The reason this one ranks higher though, to be honest, is just because of how more jazzy and upbeat it is. I want to be able to walk into a coffee shop, even though I f***ing hate coffee, and listen to this play in the background. I feel like this is a song you'd hear being played in some scene of the movie Whiplash. It just has a nice jazz club feel to it. Great song for a world theme. There is no better choice for a song to put as a title screen for a game that's all about making you extremely temperamental than one that evokes the exact opposite feeling and actually makes you feel a lot more relaxed. We get to hear King Dice sing in the ending credits. Some articles try and label it as some random singer, but come on, it's King Dice, my guy. Let's be real.
Well, Cuphead gambled with the devil.
In the end, he kind of vaguely confirms that there's going to be a Cuphead 2 coming out.
That's all there is? There isn't anymore. Or is there?
Then at the end, we hear what it would sound like if you had a whole bunch of clones of myself trying to play this exact song.
You're playing it wrong. No, you don't. It's not like that. It's in the key of G. You put your mouth on that. Oh, forget it.
I'm only now noticing how many of these run and gun segments have this horse trotty beat shoved into them. This one does have better verses, to be honest. I rarely ever skip this one like I do the others. It just slaps way harder.
Well, Cuphead and his...
I loves me some quartets, and I always find myself singing along with these guys whenever I start up the game. I didn't really become a fan of this one until I started making this list. I like how it starts off slow and then starts slowly picking up speed just like an actual train would. And I really love the way that the drums are played. It makes it feel like a train engine is running the entire time. It also has some pretty good verses shoved in as well. My favorite verse is the one that appears kind of midway through. It's just really fun to listen to. One of the songs I'm glad I made myself listen to while making this video. One of the few piano songs I feel I can actually enjoy listening to about the same as its original version. The melody is just very catchy, and being translated to pianos doesn't ruin it for me that much.
And is it just me, or does this note sound a little bit off? I don't know. It just sounds like someone slipped on a key or something.
Yeah, pretty much what I said about the last one is what I got to say about this one as well. I do have to say this one was actually played a bit better though. It keeps to the tone of the original pretty well. Honestly, my favorite piano version of all the songs. This melody just sounds like it was made to be played on piano. And it doesn't feel as stripped as the other songs do. I could enjoy it almost exactly the same as the original. Such a wonderful track that I wish we were able to run into more often in this game. It's only heard when you go see Elder Kettle, and you never really have to go where he is unless you need to do the tutorial again because you forgot how to play the game for some reason.
I actually heard that this theme was originally going to be for some like water world that ended up being scrapped from the game altogether, and by God, would this have just been the most perfect theme for it?
It just has almost like a Disney theme park vibe to it, in the sense that, do you ever sometimes think about the song that plays like in Epcot and feel so overwhelmed with delight just thinking about being in Epcot again? That's the feeling that this song gives me. One of the songs I'm glad we get to listen to very often. This fits perfectly as a world theme. I mean, the melody catches on incredibly fast, and it has some of the best sounding instruments. I think I can hear what sounds like a Peter Pan style flute in there, and the moments that you can hear it are just so memorable. I always love humming alongside every single bit of them. My absolute favorite world theme. It's absolutely unforgettable. Its melody catches on ridiculously fast, and it's almost like the perfect music to play in an amusement park or fair. I never miss the opportunity to listen to this one when I pop on the soundtrack.
It's nice to rest your...
I literally can't help but sing along with these guys every time I listen to them sing this song. It makes me wish there were more quartet songs in this game. This is the point in the list where these songs start to become a lot more what I like to refer to as
Frickin' jamming, bro!
It's almost a guarantee that while you're listening to this, you'll do something either as minor as tap your foot to the beat or go frickin' full-on dance mode. And by God, talk about an ending you should have been able to hear in the actual game. The absolute peak of this song is the intro section. This is yet another track I didn't pay too much attention to until making this list. And good lord, just every bit of this song is just filled with so much energy and intensity. This is one of those tracks that makes me want to turn up the volume full blast and jam out to my heart's content. Basically like a karaoke version of Dice House, but with trumpets as backup vocalist. The smooth, jazzy vibe of it still holds up without King Dice singing. Still every bit as worthy of love and attention as its original version is. Such a great first song to experience in this game. This song literally always has me imitating a trumpet with my mouth every time I hear it. Oh my god, in the segments where you hear just the one drum being played,
beautiful.
I had heard this one several times and never understood why it seemed to be one of many people's favorite songs in this game. I honestly thought that people only liked it because it plays in the sexy mermaid boss fight of this game. But giving a couple more listens, I started to really like this one as well. Its verses are just so good that it makes me want to let the track just continue to play all the way so I can listen to every single one of them. As good as it is though, I don't consider it one of my favorites, but it's definitely worth being in the top 20. This tune used to be my absolute favorite back when Cuphead was only playable on PC and I wasn't really able to play it that much. And that's mostly because I played this stage and only this stage because it was still too difficult for me to get through at the time. And I heard this track like a gazillion times, but it's still a great one to listen to. I just honestly get awestruck listening to how crazy fast the piano gets played here. It reminds me of one of those like pianos from Disney that you see. Really good song. There's just some that unfortunately outshine this one in my opinion. I actually became a fan of this song quite by accident actually. I used to skip this one before in the past, but one day I left the playlist on, left to do something else, came back and heard the later parts of this song, and oh my god, I love the tap dancing segments in this song so much. There's a part where you can hear what kind of sounds like a battle between two individual tap dancers, and it kind of reminds me of that slap dancing scene from SpongeBob. That verse makes the whole song for me, but the rest of the song is great too. I think this song starts the line of tracks in this game that I have listened to so many times that I feel like I have the whole thing memorized. I can hum the whole song to myself without really listening to the music. I'm not sure what instrument is being played here, sounds kind of like a clarinet, but whatever it is, it's used to its full potential here. There are some parts here they let a certain instrument have their own kind of solo moment, like the piano. There's a saxophone solo. There's even a moment where the drums and xylophone kind of have a solo that merges together at the end. It just feels like all the musical tools are used to their full capacity here.
And it has such a great finish with the trumpets. Let me hear it.
I like the more relaxed pace that this track has. Its melody is very easy to follow and it catches on pretty quickly. It's one of those tunes I feel like when I hear it, I instantly recognize which stage it's from. It just sort of has the very fitting tone to where it is in the game.
Oh yeah, the big finish is pretty sick on this one as well.
This one is such a great song for a stage and a boss fight that I don't find all too favorable. It's an alright stage, it's just one of the ones I feel you have to be kind of lucky to get a perfect rank on. But still, when I hear those drums in the intro, I can't help but get down to it. This song and Clipjoy Calamity have that same similar relaxed pace all throughout, but this one has stronger moments with the drums, and boy do I love me the drums. It even has a pretty sick little drum solo right near the intro.
Just listen!
It's just a lot more snappy and fun to listen to. The absolute best run and gun theme. It surpasses the other ones by a long shot. It perfectly fits the environment that it's played in and makes the whole level just so much more fun to jump into. I love the way the piano and the whistle tone flute both play together so harmoniously, sometimes even mimicking what the opposite instrument plays. It's just so good. It's crazy how quickly I grew to love this song when I first heard it. It's very trumpet and brass instrument heavy, and boy oh boy are they played insanely well here. The melody hooked me in so quick, it was just so catchy right off the bat. And I absolutely love the verse where the horns repeat this one bit that the piano plays. It overall just feels so epic. I love this song in a way that'll probably be hard to describe.
It just has a tendency of getting very low tone at some points, staying very nice and low, and then getting louder and louder at some points.
I just love the way that it sounds being played at really high volume. It's just one of those songs that's just much better to hear outside of the game itself. The melody in this one is played so often that it's almost impossible not to get it stuck in your head the first time you hear it. And that's not even considering the fact that, in my opinion, it plays for one of the most difficult bosses in the whole game. And I also just fell in love with the way the drums were played in this one. Very soft and also at some points very sporadic.
Sporadic means occurring at irregular intervals or only in a few places, scattered or isolated.
Close enough.
The intro on this one is crazy good. Even the bit we don't actually get to hear in the game because it gets skipped, it's all just so fast paced, and it's one of those that makes me feel kind of sorry for the people who had to spend hours upon hours learning how to master some of these segments at this pace that it moves. And I'm so glad that some of the better parts play more towards the beginning, that way you're actually able to hear it while playing this phase of the final boss. Such a great final boss theme. It matches the adrenaline of facing quite a challenging fight perfectly. Holy crap, King Dice has some pipes on him. This is one of the few songs in the game with actual lyrics, and it's just so sad we don't get to hear it ever again after we make it through all the die houses. I never miss the opportunity to listen to this one while I listen to the soundtrack. I guess I wish it was a little bit longer, cause it is a little short, but to be honest, I don't know if I can keep up that raspy voice that King Dice does when singing along for too much longer.
Don't mess with King Dice! Don't mess with me!
I'm so happy that we get to hear the introduction song more than just the one time during the beginning of the game. It actually adds a few verses that I feel outmatch the original version. I mean, we get to hear King Dice's theme play in it.
That's a pretty cool feat in my opinion.
I gotta admit, it's pretty cool how they mix some of the other songs into one. But this is nothing compared to what we hear get done in the next song.
Holy crap, guys. I mean, when I tell you that I am so happy that I made this video because it made me realize just how good some certain songs were, this one is the one I am the happiest that I listened to all the way through.
Now, I don't know how many exactly, but this song takes parts from some of the past bosses' songs and brings them into one of the most spectacular, all-worthy verses in a song I have ever heard in a game.
I mean, they brought Junkyard Jive. Sugarland Shimmy. Fiery Frolic. By God, they even brought... No! We'll get to that. When we get to that. When we get to that.
Needless to say, I love this track so much so quickly that even I was surprised myself when this rose to my top 5 as quickly as it did. I'm honestly disappointed that I never heard this track until now. Marine Corps is a level that in the past I sometimes completely forgot about. Just because there are so much more amazing bosses in the game, it kind of fell below my radar. I never even really remembered this boss, other than the giant cat that shows up in it. The total opposite could not be more true about this level's song though, because when I first heard this apart from the game itself,
I have never jammed to something so quickly in my life.
The saxophones are absolutely murdered in this song. I feel like every wind-blown instrument you can possibly think of is present here, and it is just a beautifully orchestrated masterpiece that literally makes a level I used to pay no mind to into a level I never miss out on when playing Cuphead. I literally don't know how they managed to make the first level of the game have a song that slaps so hard. Marine Corps had almost won the 3rd place slot in this list, but this song beat it because not only does this one use its wind-based instruments very well, it totally obliterates that damn xylophone in the first verse. And holy mother of Christ, the piano in this! Not to mention the fact that it has the most incredible beat drop of all time.
Oh my god!
Come on, man, this is the song for a bunch of vegetables in one of the easiest levels of the game. Why is this so well done? My god, I just don't even know what else to say about it. It's just so good. I always thought that Aviary Action sounded vaguely similar to Botanic Panic. Just listen. The reason I put Aviary Action higher up though is because its melody is far more memorable to me, and the verses in this one are just so well done. I think my favorite one has to be the one that shows up about 2 minutes and 50 seconds in, and it's a bit more silent than the rest of the song. It pretty much does exactly what Botanic Panic does, but it adds more to it in my opinion.
And now, finally, we've made it to the #1 Cuphead song. If you haven't figured it out yet, by the way, shame on you. Show them how beautiful you are.
There aren't enough words to describe just how remarkable this song is. There is a reason why this is Christopher Madigan's most listened to song on Spotify. There is a reason why this is one of the only 2 songs we get a behind the scenes look at on YouTube. There is a reason why when Cuphead became a Meat Gunner skin in Smash Brothers, this is the song they chose to add alongside with him. And there is a reason why I made it the #1 song on this list. It's because this song is f***ing amazing. The melody is amazing, these verses are amazing, the instruments being used, they're amazing. Everything about it just works so freaking well. I feel like if I popped this song on in a club, nobody would ever even think that it was a song from a video game. Not to mention, it's one of the only songs that has a piano segment that I can actually play a little bit of. In some parts you can hear a weird instrument being played, and I really have no idea what kind of instrument it is, though I've seen a whole bunch of people comment on the fact that it sounds like a McDonald's straw being moved up and down constantly, and...
Alright, I'm gonna try one that's full this time. Maybe that changes it. Are we sure that's not just the actual instrument?
Oh yeah, and the mouth trumpets are just an absolute with this song. And the percussion, oh my god, the percussion. It sounds like there's at least 80 drummers jamming it up in this song. It's like a freaking fiesta, man. Like a big old Latin fiesta. And I'm Hispanic, so maybe that's why I can't help but break into full-on dance mode when this song comes on. It's absolute perfection.
Wow, Well, I guess that about does it for this video, guys. I know some of you guys will probably refrain from letting me know. Watch, that's the reflection of the lights, and this is the reflection of the script. You can see here, you see it through the entire video. Don't let me know about it, because I know, and I don't care. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know down in the comments below if you guys disagreed with some of the song where I put some of the songs on this list, or if you did agree, please leave a like so that way I know that you indeed did like it. Leave me some suggestions in the comments down below. Let me know what other types of videos you guys want me to do. I'll most certainly, if you guys want me to do another video game music ranking, I can do that too. I have another one planned. I'll probably maybe do another video game. I'll do a whole bunch of these for you guys if you want. Whatever it is, go ahead down in the comments, request it. Ding that dong. Get notified all day long. That was terrible. So that you can know when I release new videos, and I will see you guys then.
Yeah, you